Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in into another of my videos. For the people listening, thank you to tuning in into my solo podcast. This is my second solo podcast that I'm actually doing. I'm trying to bring a little more of a better quality audio. And doing a podcast will work for certain people. What we're gonna talk about today is Cowboy Bebop, the live action Netflix series that Netflix did, and some of you might already know it got already canceled. That was pretty quick. We're gonna review it, and I actually might give you my feedback why I think it got canceled. And I was expecting it to get canceled after watching. It was a 10 episode long, so it's not super long. It's not super short. It gives you a whole perspective of what to expect for the future. The animated series was actually only 25 episodes, one season. So, they kept it pretty good, Okay, let's start. They actually, 10 episodes, it was half the season of the anime. So, I guess they were planning to go for 2 seasons, 3 seasons, Netflix. I'm sorry, guys, I just gotta look at that camera because before I started recording and something didn't work out well. So it actually had very good things as a live action and really horrible things that Netflix should have thought about it. I think the problem is they're not getting fans of the show to actually help with the script. They're just getting people that are not into anime. It's just people that do regular TV shows and regular movies. And that's a whole problem because people have already expectations, and so that's where you fail. The story, it's a way in the anime, and when people see a different way, it kind of shocks them, kind of pushes them away depending on the changes. And I feel this is what happened with Cowboy Bebop. We're gonna start with the pros, and then we're gonna go to cons. So positive first, negative last, because there's a lot more negative than positive. So what we're gonna start with, it was the good thing is Spike Seagal, right? The character, I do like him from other shows I've seen through the years and years, through everything I've seen. It's a very, very good actor. He keeps it 100% to what I expect Spike to be in real life. Other person I think it would be good to play him is maybe the guy from Riverdale. Tall, that looks a little Asian. I forgot his name, but I don't watch Riverdale. I watched one season, and the second season got very, very unentertaining. So that's the other person. I think it'll be a good pick. But overall, this guy did really good at Spike Seagal, the hair, everything. They really did good in his character, portraying him with his clothes and everything. Bad writing of Netflix comes to the negative parts of Spike Seagal. Jet, I like the guy to play Jet. I think he really portrayed what I would expect Jet in a physical form that comes out right from the anime. It was really good. The clothes, everything, just kept it to what I would expect. His personality was really good. I think the actor is underdog. After seeing him act and develop this character, I was like, wow, he can do it. He can do it. Faye Valentine. I think that's a very difficult character to actually bring to life because it's a woman, and as we see in animes, tend to portray women with crazy hair. Oh, men too, but different body styles that are sometimes very difficult to bring into the real world. Like tiny, super skinny waist with big breasts, and that kind of difficult to bring something like that. But this one, they did really good with the clothes. Her face was very similar. I think they really did take their time to cast these people. They were expecting to make a hit, a very, very successful live action series, and it didn't work. And I'll tell you why. But overall, that was good. It's a dog. But in this anime, you see things you don't really see, but this dog, you see it, and it portrays the dog, and it was well trained for all the acting that he did. Ed, you don't see Ed until the end of the season 1, and it looked like Ed. It did look like Ed, and what's wrong here? Sorry, guys. It looked like Ed, but my question is, this is not the same way Ed appeared, or maybe I needed to see a little more to judge it. But it was Ed, it was Ed, and I don't want to ruin it. Give me a second, guys. So yeah, it was Ed, and I actually think Ed did a fantastic job. For the little 5 seconds it was. Was it a girl? Yeah, I think it was a girl. And brings it out what I would expect to be Ed in a real life action series. I have no complaints about casting. I have no complaints about actually the whole costumes, the whole design of clothes, cars, ships. That was very well done. That's one of my favorite things. I think they really did outdone themselves. I didn't expect Netflix to actually have such a hand for this. They really brought the feeling of that Cowboy Bebop into life with their CGI. Very good. Very, very, very surprising. They actually pull how the ship is supposed to look. I was expecting them to do a little couple changes on that, and no, they didn't. They kept it real to that feeling, of that aesthetic feeling of the anime. They did a splendorous job with that. Problem was, let's go into the cons, guys. Problem was that certain basics, or certain basic part of the story that makes the whole Spike Seagull's journey is forged in a different way. So they changed a lot of it. Even Vicious, they give Vicious a backstory here, and they explain a lot about Vicious, and they give you a lot more of Julia instead of the anime. The anime Julia is that person that you want to know who she is, and see more, and you just see her a little bit at the end. In this one, they put Julia a whole ton. They make this a lot about Vicious. It's a lot. Vicious comes out a lot. Then on the anime, they just gave you like 5 seconds, and they kept you going to see what you were gonna make up about Vicious. And it's sad because the most important parts of this whole anime is what they kill. The simple story is where they messed up. The simple stories are what they really destroy, in the sense that that's what kept the anime simple, good, and fun. And Netflix had to ruin it. Netflix actually went too deep, trying to make it too complicated, too 2021, that I don't think it worked. And the changes they made to the story were horrific. I was, for a couple of changes, I was like, okay. Some got me annoyed, some got me upset, but the changes at the end of the story was, this is garbage. The story, not the show, not the whole story was as horrible as I can think of. And it's sad to say it because I love such good stories, but Netflix really messed up this time. You cannot. It's not Squid Game, you don't have to give me extra drama for no reason. The anime kept it short, simple, and the stories were very different. And I think that's the problem, that Netflix tried to make a connection episode through episode, instead of that anime had a connection. This episode, next episode, third episode is something different, fun, like a filler, and that worked with that show. But with the anime, but Netflix tried to make it into. I guess they were planning to make it into a whole 3, 4, 5 seasons into a long show, but did not work as they got canceled is because the fans did not watch it. I think they watched the first episode and they got disappointed, and I gotta point it out. They changed very little things. They made the first episode catchy, fun, and for people to be able to just stay watching it. And how can I say this without sounding mean or without trying to be really rude to the writers? They before they write something, they need to watch. Well, something that they are basing it from. They need to watch it. I don't feel these people really watch the anime. I feel they read a script and they saw the story, but they didn't see it in action, and that's the whole problem. If you don't see it, you're not gonna understand the meaning of it, because that whole first episode is a meaning behind it. It has a metaphor, and that's where these people messed up, because they were, let's change very important parts. Now they put the syndicate too much in this. Give me a second, guys. So they did put the syndicate too much in this, and it's sad because they could have had a better way without the syndicate. The syndicate is good, but they could actually play it off without the syndicate. And syndicate could have been a side thing like in the anime. They made the whole the bad wolf of the syndicate and vicious. That took a lot of the other episodes shine away, You wanted to see Spike on them doing bounty hunts. Oh, another issue with it is that it doesn't have a chronological order like in the anime. Maybe that's the problem. People who watch the anime, they wanted to follow a chronological order from the episodes we've seen in the anime. They were not following anything. They will put episodes that were towards the end. Oh, sorry guys. Towards the end at the beginning. How can you do that? Like, the first episode is first episode. And it's not the same. They did changes. Some changes were, they should have kept it the same, the first episode, to hook people away, because I know a ton of people that turn off their Netflix, after that, like, in the sense that they watch the first episode, they were like, no, this is not for me. I do not appreciate this anime, because it looks the same, moves the same, but it's not the same. It doesn't give you the same feeling, and that's the problem. And that has to do with director, producer, and writers. Mostly writers. Because they were not fans. If you're not a fan, you can't really give what people want. So the whole chronological order is messed up. They give you episodes that make sense towards the end, and then episodes that you need at the beginning to understand their stories are not there. A very important episode, that spoiler alert, is a casino episode. I'm not gonna get into it. A casino episode that brings Fave into Spike and Jet's life. It's very important because that's how they meet, and that progresses into them becoming teammates. In this one, it's in the first episode, and it feels rushed, unnecessary, and very crappy, to say the least. The least, So this is a whole issue. It's just, how can they really give you that? I am sad. I am sad, and I'm just disappointed how they doing things, because as a fan, it should have been a fan producing it. They could have done better, and I feel this is gonna be the same in future for The Last Airbender live action, because it's not actually fan making it. It's just Netflix people. How can you rely on Netflix people and maybe never even watch that animated series? that whole animated series, it has a lot of heart to it. And after listening to my coworker, he told me that he read that the producers of the animated series left. It means that they were not sharing Netflix ideas the same as they thought we're gonna keep it. So I feel Netflix is gonna ruin it, and Netflix being ruining certain stuff, and that, I guess it's not Netflix's fault. It's whoever is directing and producing and in charge of the project. That's a problem. A lot of people want to put their own twist to it, and certain things should be, certain things you can't. The story behind Julia, they really twisted it and make it horrible. And that twist they did not work. That twist actually killed the whole series, in my opinion. And then the whole vicious twist, the whole vicious backstory, it was very unnecessary, and I think that's the whole problem where they ran into it, because big fans watched it and they were like, what did I just watch? Why they did these changes, these savage changes? And then you wanted to see parts that they didn't show, certain fight scenes that they didn't get, and there were certain fun bounties that they needed to get, and they didn't even go through. You don't really see much of Earth. They give Jet a whole backstory that is very unnecessary. They give him a family, and in the animated series, he didn't have a family. Oh, sorry, guys. And by giving Jet a family, I think you threw it off. You actually really messed up, because Jet having a family doesn't really add up with the show. He, in this one, spoiler alert, he has a daughter, and in the show he doesn't. So they do a lot of moves that we don't see in the show, and you're like, okay, that's not a big deal. That makes sense, but he has partners from when he used to be a cop that are very close to him. They give him info. They change that. They kind of make one of the guys his rival, and it kind of takes away the whole thing. Like, you find out why he quit being a cop, but at the same time, honestly, it doesn't make sense. Some stuff that we didn't see in the show, they changed it, and it gives you a bad taste. Really leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like, why he had to stop being a cop in the show was very simple. This one is very complicated. Syndicate had a lot to do with a lot of stuff in the show, but here they pushed it 10 times more, and it doesn't make sense. It's just not make sense how they push it for the Syndicate too much. It's just, well, they wanted to build the Syndicate into something else that in the show was never there to be. Always something more simplistic. It was about Jet, Spike doing bounty hunts, and yeah, the Syndicate was there, but just in the back as the backbone of Spike's story. They needed Syndicate to end the story. Let's just put it like that. That Syndicate was always necessary to finish the whole story of Spike, and I understand, it is very understandable. But however, in the Netflix movie, the whole Syndicate is what moves around the whole story between Spike and Jet, and with the bounties, you don't really see them. And I think this change was horrible, because you stop having the lighthearted, very interesting stories that the anime had. There was a story in the anime with some kid when I think, Spike goes to Neptune, or no, not Neptune. A planet, I forgot which one that. I think is I forgot what planet. I'm sorry. And he meets a kid that wants to be trained by Spike, and this is very meaningful. Like, they go through a whole adventure. a whole very, I don't want to spoil it because I want you guys to watch it. So the story is very interesting, and the kid is very interesting, and it has a really strong backstory, and I really like it hits you right there. Like, it has heart to it. Whoever wrote it. But in the show, we don't see that, and that's very important because it builds up who Spike is, and it shows you he's kind. And the show, you don't see that. The casino one is a very good one. We don't see that. Um, and then they give you this. What is second episode? I actually forgot. I did. Oh, that's not good. What else? What else? Let me try to work it out because I know him. I forgot a lot of the animated ones. They give you this thing with a clown that the syndicate hire him, and it is, but it's not like the way that Vicious didn't really go and send this dude against Spike. Spoiler alert, sorry. But in this one, they make it like Vicious is there, and Vicious did try to kill Spike, but not to the point that the show makes it that Vicious only cares about killing Spike. Vicious leaves Spike alone for a little bit, and then he really does go all out to kill Spike. But not in that, like, not how in the show it is. It's all about Spike, and then they give Julia, Spike, and Vicious a backstory together, and I'm not cool with that. Maybe it could have been like that. Maybe that's what the writer of that anime thought it can happen between them, but I'm not feeling it. I didn't feel it. It's very sad, and that they are actually doing this. They ruin a lot of the little things that matter the most in this anime. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. And I just have to say that Netflix has to learn how to keep certain stories that are very successful around the same area. Oh. You cannot try to change certain stories because then it's gonna have a very backfire effect. People like certain stories for a reason. Like this one, Cowboy Bebop. It's some people's favorite because of the story. I never watched it, by the way. I just watched it before the live action, and I'm glad I watched it. If not, I would have been a big fan of the live action and then watch the animated, and it would have broken my heart how bad the live action was done. How the live action actually had a. Oh, sorry, guys. How the live action was executed is not the best way. How the live action was done is, it was really not what I was expecting. It's I'm sorry, guys. I'm just reminiscing about the animated series, how good it was, how they were able to keep it to that level of greatness. But this is my review. I wanted to give you guys that got more bad than good at all. I do have to say the CGI is amazing, but this is the whole problem with it, guys. They destroyed the story. They didn't work it to what it should have been. They couldn't actually pull off the feeling to it. Like, the aesthetics is great, looks good, but they couldn't have what it was needed. A good heart telling story that was gonna get people's attention and keep you on the TV. Even Squid Game had that, and it was just playing games of that. And these people had something beneath that they could have used. They actually had a script already. They just had to make it work in the TV, make it work into the live action, and they couldn't execute it the right way. It's sad. It's sad, because I bet Netflix has spent millions and millions of dollars and they didn't get any money back. As it is, that show might actually get more watch later. They may get more fans later. But so right now, I guess it's canceled and I don't think it's coming back. Netflix goes about how much money they make versus how popular it is, because what is this? Altered Carbon got canceled, and I was one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Season 1 was a killer. Season 2 I really enjoyed it with Andrew Mackie, the guy from Captain America. But I think it's not about how successful it is, it's how much money they make. And I still wonder how Netflix makes money, by the way. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Keep me, guys, in your Spotify. Keep me, guys, in your YouTube list of people you watch. I'd really appreciate it. Really happy to actually be able to share with you these reviews. I appreciate it, guys. I'm really happy you guys are clicking this video or clicking this link to listen to my podcast. Thank you. I really want to say thank you, guys. Have a great day. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below if you're on YouTube, and if not on Spotify, find a way to comment. I will get back to you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. And don't watch Cowboy Bebop. Or maybe watch it. I don't know. Whatever you guys feel like doing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Peace. Peace. Feel cosplay with you guys. Thank you. Goodbye.